これか。せーの。My cabbages! Low, low, man. Oh, my cabbages!
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Andrew Esquire. Good morning. It is 8 a.m. here in snowy Seoul, South Korea. It snowed so much yesterday. So much. But I still got a lot done. It was a very productive day. But it's good to see you guys there. Obviously, Legal Mindset with Teach Be Your Own Judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney. And we've got a banger for you today. We are interviewing one of Johnny Somali's mods. And not just any mod. This is someone who is at the top of the stack of mods. Now, I'm going to bring him in here in a second. But I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been very, very supportive the last couple days and who's been coming out to support me. Thank you so much. Welcome everybody here. And I look forward to a very good conversation about questions. We're going to save those for the end. So I'll catch all those. But I do see a lot of you guys sent in stuff super chats before. And I do appreciate all those. Ike said this stream has been submitted one minute late. Your case is dismissed. Love the streams. Appreciate that. So Bruce said 1 minute late. Don't like and subscribe. No. And then Dear Will Christian said, thank you for the interview. Crushing it, sir. Can't wait to hear this one. Keep up the excellent content. Will do. And thank you for everybody who became a member. There's so many of you guys that became members. Thank you so much. And also appreciate I'm here for the scuff for the 10 memberships. JP Ravenfire, Mark's Mayhem. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. And thank you to everybody else who became a member. So many of you became members. Crimson Splat, Thai Coffee, Ginger Snap, Jim, Maybe Sunshine, DJ Case Make. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate all of you guys joining up and becoming members. We will have a members only stream very soon. But without further ado, I'm not going to drag this out. We're bringing on once again one of Johnny's top mods, and that is Fabarius, how are you today?
Good night. I mean, I'm good. What about you?
I'm great. I was excited to do the reveal because everyone was speculating who I was going to bring on.
Yeah.
And you're live on Kick now.
Yep,
right?
I'm live on Kick. Yeah, for sure.
You're live on Kick. And even your
Fabarius.
audience didn't really know you were going to come on with me, right?
No, I was telling them we were having a watch party to watch you.
just a friendly watch party.
Yeah.
So it's a good surprise for everybody. Okay, let's start out with for those who don't know, because while Johnny's people may be panicking right now, let's start a little bit about you and your background and who you are. We'll start there.
All right. Well, I'm Fabarius. I'm hold on, let me turn on my emotes a little bit. There we go. I'm Fabarius. I was a head mod of Johnny until some things happened, of course. Didn't always agree with the content he was making. I saw potential. He's an easy talker, had charisma, but not for the good, sadly. Tried to change his content a bit, but no.
So let's start there. So when did you first hear about him? Was this 2 years ago? Was it before Japan?
No, it was when he was in Thailand after Japan.
Okay.
I didn't even know who he was. I didn't even know about the things he said the first time in Japan. I had no idea. I just saw a streamer. So basically what I do, I love tech. I love streaming. I love everything that has something to do with streaming. I was browsing on Kick on IRL channels. I saw Thailand, I saw Johnny, and was like, he needs help with his stream. So I reached out to him hey, you can improve your stream a bit with a chat with a watermark and, helped him out.
He looked like retarded on tech wise, and you're like, I can help you out with your tech, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. No, I can't look. Even that is at least a little bit identifiable. I mean, I have tech issues all the time. So, if someone comes up and says, "Hey, I'm going to help you with tech," you're usually like, "Oh yeah, that's something you can that's something you can need help with because, hey, you need somebody who knows how to do that."
Yeah.
So I guess you started in Thailand, and then I guess you caught the Israel part, right? So did you see him while he was in Israel or no?
I saw him in so first he had the Japan Arc 1, as people
Arc
say.
1, yeah.
Arc 1. Then he went to Thailand. Then is when I saw him.
Mm-hmm.
Then he went to Japan for Arc 2,
Mm-hmm.
sadly. We planned some fun stuff like Mount Fuji and go-karting, which was fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The other content was a bit, not my
Yeah.
style, but fine, you know. I was just there for the ride. He went to jail. Then he went to Israel. One big shit show.
And then Korea, right? So
And
it's like that's
he
that's
first
the Johnny
disappeared,
version.
and he first disappeared because in between Israel and Korea, he also was in Colombia, but it was too dangerous to stream.
Oh, so okay, hold on. That's actually a good point because a lot of people they say like Johnny, come to Brazil, come to Mexico. So you're saying he was in Colombia, but he couldn't stream because he would have been in some trouble.
It was not more that he would be in trouble because he was in Colombia and they knew his name. It was more like the area he was. It isn't safe to stream in Colombia in general. Like they steal your phone. They're not playing around. Any third world country basically, and has a poor area. If you stream with your phone, they're just gonna take your phone and beat you up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that's similar. Or also like I know that there's certain areas, for example, in Brazil, where if you're walking around with your phone, right, like it's like, okay, well, you're probably gonna get your phone snatched, right?
Yeah.
And it's just and look, that's also true in parts of the United States, to be clear. You know, if you're in certain areas,
Of course, yeah.
you're
It can
probably gonna
happen
get your
anywhere.
ass. Yeah, you're probably gonna get your ass kicked, and you're probably gonna get interviewed, right?
Yeah, it can happen anywhere. It can happen anywhere.
Yep. So okay, was Johnny your first IRL streamer, or were you kind of into IRL streaming? Were you kind of a maybe an aficionado of IRL streaming before Johnny?
So I really started watching IRL streams when COVID hit and everyone was at home, lockdown, etc.
Okay.
It was fun to watch some streamers that were traveling the world or in a different country at least. I watched Ice Poseidon in the past, followed him, etc. Like all those kind of things. Like I thought it was pretty cool.
So you knew about what happened with Ice Poseidon in Thailand?
No, because I actually didn't know he was streaming on Kick. I know him from the Twitch era and YouTube era. I didn't know about his Kick thing. Eventually I did because Johnny went to Ice. So that's how I...
Right. Because he got kind of involved in that. And can you talk about that relationship a little bit? Because I think a lot of people don't know about it. Like, can you talk about like Johnny and Ice's relationship? Because I think most people don't know about it.
No, I think so Johnny tried to play a prank on him when Ice got in trouble in Thailand. Johnny wanted to play a lawyer, and he had like a printed a T-shirt on with Ice's face on it, etc. Went to it, only made more problems, to be honest. So they kicked him out. So I don't think they don't really like each other.
It seems like that's sort of at least to me, it's like maybe it's IRL streaming or something else, or maybe it's just Johnny. But it seems like there's a lot of beefs, like people beefing with each other, and that's kind of like a subculture of IRL streaming, I guess, or at least a segment of IRL streaming.
Yeah, there's a lot of fights going on. People don't want other people to be successful. Basically, people get jealous on each other, etc.
Sure,
that's more it.
Sure, because they'll watch their numbers and they'll get mad about it. So they'll say, "Hey, look, I can't believe this guy got this, or this guy made this money, or this guy did this." It seems like it's a very obviously like if the industry or that niche, you could say, obviously it's very like financially, the financial incentive, right? So, oh, I'm doing this thing and I'm making more money doing this thing.
Yes.
And I guess that kind of drives people to do more extreme behavior, maybe you might say, because they're trying to one up the next guy, right?
Yeah, they want to one up and one up and one up until it's not fun and games anymore.
What potential, can you talk a little bit more? You said you saw potential in Ramsey. Like what did you see in him initially? Because obviously like you went from, obviously you're a mod, like seeing something in him to now we're talking and you jump ship. So what did you see on the front end? Like what did you see beforehand? Because most of us, and me included, I only saw him after he was arrested in Japan and creating issues, right? But what did you see in Thailand? What did you see in him that had potential? What do you think was he funny? Do you think he's smart? What was it?
He was funny, and in Thailand he wasn't basically harassing people or strangers on the streets. He was really easy talking to other people. He met interesting characters. He really met interesting characters, which made it funny. Like it was almost like a GTA game. The characters he met, like, and I thought that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool, but then shit went downwards.
Yeah. And you know, I can see how it kind of comes off that way, right? Like, and I saw the GTA kind of theming. He uses the stars and everything else like that. So it seems like a GTA game.
That's things that I made, yeah. So
yeah,
it fitted the team, you know.
It fit, right? And then let's see. So can you describe, because I wanted to ask people, because everybody has a different community. My community is a bunch of people that are really interested in the law. They're like law nerds, or they have like law autism, right? And they tend to be older. So my audience tends to be older people, not ancient. Although, you know, I don't know how you feel about, is 30s old? Is 30s old to you, Fat?
No.
Okay. Yeah, you're like, no. All right. So mine is like 30s and up. I think 30s can be ancient sometimes, but you know, can you describe Johnny's community? What type of people watch Johnny? What's his age demographic? Like describe his community as a whole.
Really, all kind of people were watching him. I think the oldest one I've seen, I'm aware, is like 45-ish. Also kids, of course. Lots of kids will watch him because he did go viral a few times. He had some clips, etc.
Viral on TikTok or Kick or where? YouTube?
Mostly YouTube, but it was more of other people reacting. And you would see other streamers go in his chat as well. On Kick you can host people. I don't know how YouTube works, but on Kick you can host people. So you can bring your community over to someone else when you enter your stream, for example.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, so you can like get communities together. And then I think the main age of Johnny, his community, would be maybe early 20s, I would say.
So on the younger side, you'd say.
On the younger side, for sure.
Okay, sure. Okay. And how did you become a moderator? So how and correct me if I'm wrong, were you the head mod, or were there more than one?
There were more than one head moderators. I mostly did the moderation. I hated chat modding. I don't like chat modding. I don't like Discord modding. I like the tech side. I just want a good quality stream and nice layout so people can be pleased when they watch the stream.
Yeah. So how did you? But did he just like you, or was it because you helped him with tech? So he's like, all right, you helped me with tech, so I'm gonna make you a head mod. Like what got you promoted?
I helped him with the tech, and that got me like moderator. But then we also started talking about like content he could create, etc. And like advice what he should do. But when a few drinks were in, there was no listening anymore.
So he would. So that's kind of the theme, was he would start drinking and then just not listen to anybody.
Yeah.
Okay. How would you say he changed over time? Like, can you describe the types of things that have changed and kind of become more extreme and how that happened?
He became more extreme at the end of the Japan 2 arc, I would say.
So after he was arrested and put in jail for what, like 4 months or so?
No, like right before that, because more police would be showing up, more people would be calling restaurants. I think, I can't look into his head, but I think he had the idea he was some kind of superstar, because everyone was paying attention to him, watching him, but not for the good. And yeah, like if I would see a police officer, I would work with them and be respectful to them and not work against them, for example. I think maybe it's a cultural difference or an age gap. I don't know. No idea.
Well, I don't try to analyze the psychology. I'm just trying to get to like what happened and how it
Yeah.
was, right? Because if you try to get into that, like was it the way he was brought up or whatever else? It could be so many things. It could also be money. It could also be the community. I mean, I think all these factors can kind of play in, and that's why I enjoy talking about it with you here.
Yeah.
So let's see what else. What did you think about? So obviously you saw Japan, you saw what happened in the Arc 2, where he is now banned from the country. Like
Yes.
after that happened, did you have a conversation with him or like did you what did you think about that?
No, so after that happened, we had the Discord server, the Johnny Somali 1 server, as we call it.
Johnny Somali 1, so there's more than one.
Yeah, we called it JS1, Johnny Somali 1. His best friend, IRL friend, Trell, was running the server. He created it. And he tried to sell it at some point.
Sell the Discord.
Yeah, he also leaked a porn video of Johnny in that Discord that some people have saved, for example. Trell is in... Yeah, thank you, someone in my chat. Trell's in jail now, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
For what?
I think for drugs.
Okay.
So it was... he's also no good. He tried to sell the Discord server. I saw that, of course. I nuked the server fully. It wasn't sellable anymore. It had strikes. Completely gone. Then the new server was created already by someone to funnel the people over, of course, that wanted to keep in touch with Johnny. After Johnny was out of jail, there was no communication, nothing. Like, no, he wasn't responding to anyone, not on Discord, not on... We use WhatsApp. No responding. Zero responding on nothing. And then suddenly he came back. He messaged me like, "Oh, I want to stream again. I want to travel again."
After all that.
After all that, like after a few months. It was like a 3-month silence after he came out of jail. And then it was like, I'm going to Israel. I'm like, what? There's a war starting there. Why are you going to Israel?
That was insane to me. And honestly, I thought there's... I mean, he was lucky he didn't get shot in Israel, to be completely honest.
He was really close to being shot, actually, because he was sitting in a restaurant where people were killed. There was a shooting in a restaurant he was eating.
Right. And like a lot of people have said, hey, come to X country, come to Y country. Like that was probably the closest it came to physical harm of a death variant. Okay, so he went there. He went to Israel. And I think I've seen some messages to this regard, but weren't you saying, hey, look, if you're going to go to Korea, you're going to go to Korea next, right? Because he announced that after Israel, right?
The initial plan was for him. He really wanted. He got permabanned on Kick in Israel because he put some images in the holy wall. I'm not really
the Wailing Wall. The Wailing Wall.
Wailing Wall. That's it. I'm not educated about that, but he
put some images on the wall.
In the wall, it was Jeffrey Epstein, Aiden Ross, which is the main streamer of Kick.
I didn't even know about that. He put Aiden Ross and Jeffrey Epstein in the Wailing Wall.
Yeah, and one more person. I don't know who, but one more.
So now he's permanently banned on Kick.
Yeah, he's permanently banned on Kick. He really wanted to get unbanned on Kick.
Holy shit, I didn't know that one.
Yeah. So I made the plan, like, don't go to Korea.
Why did he pick? Hold on. Why did he pick Korea? Because he thought like it's Japan part. You think it's like he can't go to Japan. He's banned from Japan. But he thought that he might be able to get away with it in Korea, and it'd be kind of soft or easy. Like why did he go to Korea? Because that'd be a weak target.
I have no idea why he chose Korea. Like, we made a plan. We were even already in looking things up at the government in Australia, because another streamer, Slightly Homeless, we were in a call, spitballing everything. And we were like, if you go to Australia, camp in front of the Kick office in a tent, which is legal in Australia to do, you will see the Eddie, the CEO of Kick. Maybe you can get unbanned. Like, show them you can stream normally and not only stupid content you make. But suddenly he bought a flight ticket, like a plane ticket to Korea.
And
I was
boom,
like,
went.
well, Korea, okay. I need to change some stuff then because I prepared the server for Australia, made an intro for Australia, etc. So
it was kind of a spontaneous move to go to Korea.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. So were there particular streams when it goes to Korea, right?
Yeah.
Were there particular streams where you started to have alarm bells going off saying, okay, this is getting too far, or this is going too far, this is pushing it? What were the streams or actions that he took that where you started thinking, holy shit, like this is bad?
So what I don't like, and I don't like that in any streamer, if they harass women on the street or elderly people, or it makes me cringe actually. Or when there are kids involved, I don't like that. What I had in mind, because there was an event going on Kick streamers, and they had like a mansion for a few days and an RV. So I planned, like, I can get you a location in the RV, like an AirTag in the mansion, so you know where it is. Go have fun with those streamers, like mess with them a little bit, make like a little bit of Mission Impossible thing, you know, like play a bit with the crowd, because he could do that. He's good at that. And those streams were just as successful as him going on a train, getting hate donations to get reactions of strangers.
Sure.
They were the same quality of streams, same amount of money he was making.
Can you tell me about that? Okay, so that's a big thing that a lot of people have discussed and debated. How much money was Johnny making? Like, was he making like a couple $100 a stream? Like, what was the different amounts he was making?
I think on a good day, because I told him multiple times, his audience is not supporting him. Like for you, for example, you get supported in people are gifting you subs and positive donations, right?
Yes.
His subs, like, he wouldn't get a lot of subs, like maybe a handful. So that's almost nothing. The donations he would get were only donations to play loud music or to send horrendous messages.
So the text-to-speech messages that he had connected to a JBL, a speaker, a loudspeaker that was clipped to him. You can see it in most of his videos, clipped to like his shoulder in Korea. So you're saying the majority of his money was the text-to-speech to play sounds and other stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
so what do you make?
He could control it. Like, you can turn it down, you can turn it up, like whatever you want to do. You
correct. So that was his defense in Japan. He said, I can't turn it down, I can't turn it off, I can't change it. Yes. So you're saying he indeed could turn it down, change, and turn it off.
It's one button.
Yeah. And actually it's funny because I have him going through this video for absolutely no reason at all whatsoever and creating a bunch of timestamps. I have him on the video saying, chat, we need to turn it down. And then there's another point in which he's like, okay, we have to turn it off because the police told him like several times and he was being pressed by the police. And that's when he turns it off because he's in trouble at that point. So you can see that this defense of I can't control it is a lie, both based on his own actions and words. You literally see him do that. So
it's one button.
Yeah. Okay. So that's an important one. That's important one there for the culpability of him for at least creating a nuisance, right? Especially when he's on the metro and everywhere else. You know, he also didn't have to walk through the entire metro, but he does do that and pretty much pisses off everybody on the metro instead of just one little corner of the metro.
And he knows it gives him more donations by doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, and he pretends that he's mad about it, but of course he's happy to get the dono.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So would you say, like, maybe if he's being an annoying nuisance streamer, someone said he was making like $1,000 a stream. Is that about accurate, or is it less than that?
I ran it down a few times on Power Chat he was using. It was around 700 a day.
If he's being annoying, if he's doing nuisance streaming stuff, if he's okay, it's about $700 to be annoying a day. Okay. So he was doing that. I guess we got to talk about the one thing. So, obviously you're involved, you're the head mod. So I believe, I had this clip I was going through in once again, and timestamping. And at the end of the clip, I heard him call out the Fab, right? And just to be clear, this is you, right? I'm going to play the clip here at the end, like just a couple seconds. But this is you he's referencing here. Oh, I think I have to share my whole screen. This is going to be wonky for a second, guys. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
You're not doing live streaming.
I'm not. Fab, end stream. Fab, end stream. Fab, you know what to do. Fab, end. Fab.
So that you saw that clip right there, right?
Yes.
So that was in Lotte World. So he's saying Fab in stream, Fab, you know what to do. Had you guys talked about this beforehand? Were you like, look, if I get in trouble, we're gonna do XYZ?
Yeah, the thing is, I work a full-time job, of course, and there's time zones differences. I'm in the Netherlands, so as you can hear, of course. So there were times I wasn't there. There were times I was there. If you would say that, I would end the stream, because also I didn't want him to get into trouble, of course, because, well, we're all human. I don't like seeing people get in trouble. So I would end the stream, and then I would private this video, so no one could grab it or steal it or doing whatever.
Mm-hmm. And were you aware that there's the possibility that he could get arrested? That like he was going around and like that he could be arrested like he was in Japan, or have police show up like Japan?
Yeah, and that's also why I was messaging him a lot when people were like, when he was throwing the ramen on the windows and shit. I was constantly.
What were you saying to him? What were you saying to him in those messages? What were you saying?
Clean your shit up. Get a towel. I will only call Hank because he wanted me to call Hank because he was too drunk. And I'm like, I will call Hank for you if you clean that shit up. Don't make that poor store cleric cleaning your stuff up.
Mm-hmm. So you were saying that and that's in fact the instance where he got arrested. In fact, he did get arrested for that, right? Yeah. Eventually, and now he's on charges for that one, for that specific incident, right? So you were trying to mitigate that, and I've seen those messages. So okay, at what point did you say, like, was there like one thing that was the straw that broke the camel's back, and you're like, fuck it, I'm out? Like, what made you be like, fuck it, I'm out, I'm done?
So what made me really say it is we were having a discussion on Discord, because I was always trying to push him to stream because he's pretty lazy. So I was always pushing him to stream and don't tell lies to his like community, because he was always saying, I'm going to stream in a few hours, I'm going to come back, I will stream in this hour, and he would just be a no-show. So keep pushing him, pressing him a little bit, like, don't lie to your community, be transparent. It's really important because people like to watch your stream. So stream, like, at least do what you say.
Right.
And he was using my server, of course, and I'm like, if you don't want to, like.
So can you explain that, like, using your server? Like, what did you set up for him? Because for the boomers in the chat, right? Like, what does that mean? What does that mean?
So what does it mean? Well, I can actually show you here. This little thing is one of the servers. This is just a laptop. Sure. What I do, I have an internet connection, especially for the streamers that I have under my wing. Let's call it like that. I set up their OBS. I make a secure connection for them that they can use on their phone or whatever device they're wanting to stream. And they stream directly to the server I set up for them. What that does is, normally when you stream directly off your phone, which you can do, if you disconnect, your stream ends and you will have a separate vault, which is pretty annoying.
Okay, yeah.
Because you want a clean stream, and it also costs 40% less data.
Okay, so there's an advantage to streaming off a server in that way.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, got it.
So it save them money, and it would make the stream better. You have more possibilities if you stream off OBS than if you stream directly off your phone.
So he was using you obviously for the technical side, leaning on you for the technical side, but you were getting, like you said, the line was he was saying he was going to do things, he wasn't doing them, right? Did any of the extreme behavior start to give you red flags? Any of the things he was doing in Korea, perhaps?
Yeah, especially during he encountered a streamer called Boomy.
Boomy, the autistic guy.
Yeah. He's always been a nice guy. He's super chill. He's very scared for going outside in general and talk to strangers. And I told him like Boomy can meet up with you and he can speak English and Korean. So it would also be nice for you to know someone that knows both languages. And he pressed him, did some stupid stuff to him. I felt really bad for Boomy.
That was when he was on all fours barking and, you know, I'm king of these streets and all that sort of stuff. That was booming, right? Yeah.
I legit hated that. I felt so terrible because he felt really shit. I messaged him a few times on Discord as well, to just check up if he's all right. Because I felt really, really bad when it happened. Like I felt horrible.
And going into that, because kind of that's the feeling, right? So like, do you now, looking back at like your contributions, do you feel apologetic for it? Do you feel kind of like, oh, you know, I shouldn't have done this, or I shouldn't have been part of this for anything or any of the actions as a mod?
If I look back in the long run, I shouldn't have gave him multiple chances, to be honest. And yeah, I should have just called it the first time, but I didn't.
So what did you decide to do after you were leaving? So when you decided to say, okay, I'm going off and I'm leaving, because here's the thing, you could disappear, and most people disappear, like especially on Discord, right? When you're done with a community, you just fucking ghost, you pop smoke, you ghost, and you just go into the internet, and it's the internet, right? No one's gonna fucking find you, no one's gonna bother you. You could have just said, fuck you, Johnny, I'm out. What made you want to come forward and honestly, to be clear, help bring Johnny to justice at this point? Like what made you make that decision to say, okay, I'm not just gonna go away, I'm gonna actually try to help here?
So what happened is, after the conversation, he tried to dox me. He said my IRL name live on stream in his Discord, pictures. They even have my license plate, which is
how did he have that information? How did he get all that information on you?
Because I was texting his mom as well when bad things would happen, etc. So
does his mom know what's going on now?
I hope not, to be honest, but I think she does.
What didn't he also say, correct me if I'm wrong, that his dad, correct me if I'm wrong here, I thought I heard him say on one of the streams that his dad like disowned him and like doesn't want anything to do with him? Is that correct?
I don't know if that's actually true,
or it's hyperbolic, because with Johnny it's hyperbolic, right? He says shit and it's like you can't really believe what he's saying. He's just saying stuff.
It could be real, it couldn't be real. Like you don't know. But I hope his parents, I know his parents will encounter not good things of this, and I feel really sad for them, because if you see your kid like that breaking down on the internet,
I mean, you see your kid getting arrested on the internet, like it's not going to be great, right?
Or being drugged off his mind in Israel and all those things, like it's not a fun thing to see.
Grinding his teeth and stuff like that because he's doing drugs. So you just you obviously we're making a break, you're obviously going away, and I'll just say this because I know we had a mutual friend. So I was introduced to you through a mutual friend who actually vetted you and said, you know, that you're not one of the horrible ones, the worst ones. I guess you could say, is it fair to say on his Discord there are worse characters, and there are maybe malevolent characters?
Oh yeah, for
people
sure.
with bad intentions on his Discord,
especially also on his Twitter space that he joins every now and then. They're just people that don't want anything good for him to happen, but they hype him up to do stupid stuff. And
so they want to use him as like a lol cow. They want to use him as like a,
because
they can bring him around, ship him around, and they want to see him get in trouble right? And they're paying and they're supporting him to get him in trouble.
They're basically doing things that they would never do themselves IRL.
Right.
And he would be the crazy one to do it.
Right, because they're anonymous, right? So it's like kind of
Yeah.
the most cowardly way. You know, they would never do any of this stuff. They would never go to these countries, right? They would never try any of this stuff, but they want to live through Johnny, right? Because they're too big of pussies to do it themselves, so they want to live through Johnny.
Yeah, and that's also the reason that he was using Power Chat, because Power Chat is fully anonymous when you donate.
Mm-hmm.
If people would rarely donate through PayPal because it will give your name, it will give your email address, etc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's trying to keep the anonymous element, right?
Yeah.
Does he engage in a lot? Because to me, obviously, I mean, it's been very clear. He's tried to blackmail me already. He's tried to dox me. He's tried to do privacy complaints. He's tried to do copy strikes. Is that normal for him? Like with anybody he doesn't like, to try to do these sort of blackmail, to attack them, to dox them? Is that normal for him in his community?
It is kind of normal in his community. He wouldn't do it to a lot of people because he wasn't like he doesn't fight a lot with people. He just has a really strong opinion, and it's like either you're with me or you're against me. There was no in between.
Black and white. It's black and white thinking, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Which it's very common, especially with people that are very young or very emotionally immature. I would say very, very, very common. So what would you like to see happen to Johnny at this point? So we're at this point where he's charged with these crimes, like in at least one crime that he's, he has going to trial. There's more, trust me. We're going to talk about that more next week. But he's charged with a crime. And what would you like to see happen to Johnny at this point? Or like, what would you expect to happen to Johnny at this point? Because now that there's consequences on the table for him again, what would you like to see the future for Johnny Somali be?
I would like some cabbages. So
Sorry, I'll just play the clip there real quick. But yes, the cabbages are lovely. You got chat, you can drop some cabbage emojis. But that said, if he goes to jail, do you think that would help him or hurt him? I mean, because some people were saying, and I think there's been a discussion that he became worse after his short time in Japan. So if he's just given 4 months or a very, very short period of time, or he's just deported, do you think he would get better or stay worse at this point?
I think he wouldn't change. He would stay exactly the same.
But to me, do you think if he got, let's say, significant time, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years in jail, do you think that might change him?
Maybe for the worse, not for the good.
Maybe for the worse.
Like, if I look at it realistically, if he would ever, like, streaming is not really a possibility for him anymore because he's banned on any platform.
He's been on every single platform.
Yeah, he has Rumble left, I think.
Rumble, yes, because Rumble's really hard to get people banned off of.
Yeah,
you gotta like pretty much show porn or be really, really super imminent threat. So making direct threats to people, saying you're gonna hurt somebody specifically, then Rumble will do something. But it's very difficult. Now the problem is Rumble has a dog shit UI. And I used Rumble, right? I used Rumble as a protection, as a backup, and I still have a Rumble, and I have a bunch of other platforms. But Rumble has a really bad UI, and their monetization is not good. They're not set up very well. So it's like he doesn't want to be on Rumble, right? That's not his first, second, or probably even third choice.
Where he really wants to be still is Kick.
So it pisses him off when other people are on Kick.
Oh yeah, for sure, because he had a good, like, he was, if he wouldn't be banned on Kick, he would have been one of the top IRL streamers, and he would have had like an hourly rate on Kick. Like, you get paid per hour per viewer,
which is where you're at right now. You're on Kick.
Yeah.
And I may or may not have started a Kick the other day and kind of uploaded some of my assets there. So we may or may not be streaming on that to say, hey Johnny, fuck you. So that may or may not happen as a fuck you to Johnny in the future. But that said, okay, what's going on in his community right now? Because I like, are they cool as a cucumber, or are they panicking? Like, what's going on inside the mind of his community? Because you know them, you've been in there.
I know them. I know a lot of them are trolls, of course.
Sure.
There's a lot going on in this community. They switched to Telegram.
Why did they switch to Telegram?
Because they know they're being watched on Discord by a lot of people, like a lot of people.
So
And
they still have a Discord. It exists. But
Yeah.
they're like the dirty dealings, the real stuff is going on Telegram.
yes,
Okay. See, so this is a lot of people are wondering how I knew that, right? So I just want to establish, like, how does he know that? That's how I know
Yeah.
that, right? So yeah, and people saying Telegram isn't safe. Yeah, no, it isn't either, right? But yeah, that's what's going there. Why? So they're on there to protect themselves. They know people are watching. Do they think perhaps even there's law enforcement watching, or there's people that might be reporting him to the South Korean authorities? Does he know that? Is he aware?
yeah, he's definitely aware. And I gave advice to the mods I like at Johnny, and they're still his mods.
Mm-hmm.
And I always said, like, make sure you can't be fine on, like, they will go for ranks. That's how people work when they scavenge Discord. If they see you have a higher rank, they will go for you as well. So make sure you either abandon ship or make sure you can't be found.
Like they're gonna have to scatter when it gets deeply investigated. There was rumors, and I guess someone in the super chat asked it, and I guess I'll ask it because it's a good question, and I want to say, like, Super Korean asked it for 10. Was he distributing CP on his Discord? That was a rumor going around. He should report it inside the closet with chipper feed first. Not this guy, to be clear, but the douche chart being discussed. What is that? Was that something that was, like, I heard there was a purge, or he was deleting stuff? Like, did you hear about?
I was already out of the Discord by then.
You were out of the Discord.
Yeah, I was out of the Discord.
Did you hear from other people, like a rumor, like,
I heard there was CP on his Discord. I don't know who posted it, of course, because he had a lot of Japanese people in there. He had a lot of Korean people in there as well. I don't know who did it. I would assume maybe people from Korea did it to get him in trouble, because doing that, strike the channel, boom, it's gone.
Possible, right? Possible.
But I don't know for sure. Like,
but
there was a lot of fucked up in the Discord as well.
There's and we've established there was a lot of fucked up people, so it wouldn't be beyond some of the fucked up people that were sending messages like, did you realize those messages in Korean, what they said?
No, I don't speak Korean at all. Like,
right, but nobody decided to translate them, or like was laughing in the chat, because did you realize those messages? Some of them said, "I want to fuck children."
I legit had no idea.
You had no idea.
Yeah.
No, I mean, obviously at the time, I understand that at the time you don't speak Korean, right? I don't speak Korean fluently either, right? So I wouldn't know what some of the messages said, at a whole, but some of the messages that were being sent were extraordinarily offensive, extraordinarily sexual. And I guess that was the intent of the people that send it, right? That's
they wanted to just, like, and it wasn't when it was English messages as well. Like, it was like, "Oh, I'm carrying a bomb," and then you hear like bomb beeping sounds going off and all that stuff. It's just to get him into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And the issue is, he didn't mind it that it was playing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He just allowed it.
Yeah, like, you can turn, like, it's one button.
Yeah. Let's my next question was, okay, about the broader IRL community. Do you think they're an issue, or do you think do you think the issues are mainly with Johnny, or do you think this is a broader IRL community? Because once again, I'm new to watching the IRL community, and just wondering, hey, is this an IRL problem where, like, all IRL streamers are getting too extreme, or is it just Johnny?
No, there are some streamers that are going too extreme. Like, it's the money. Like, they want to get views, they want to get chat motion, because Kick pays out if you're on the hourly rate. The more chat motion you have, the more viewers you have, the higher the pay rate is. So
chat motion, so that's getting people in, getting people interacting, getting people
chatting. Yeah, like, if you have, like, some streamers with, like, I think 800 viewers, 900 viewers make $100 an hour. Like, that's good money.
That's good money. Now, let's be very clear. What
Yeah.
jobs are they? I mean, listen, a lot of these guys are pretty young, right? They're like
Yeah.
20s. What job is a 20-year-old who may not even have gone to college or very super young going to have that's making $100 an hour, right?
Yeah. Like
None usually. I mean, unless
for
they're a power lineman.
basically holding a phone and walking on the streets.
$100 an hour is damn good money. Like
Yeah.
damn good money for some 20-year-olds. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and
insane money.
And that's only the hourly rate. Like on top of that, you get your subscription money, and Kick pays out 95% of the subscription.
So you're getting most of the money. You're capturing that money back.
Yeah, so one sub is $5, and you get like $4.74 of it.
To be clear, the text to speech, that's through a separate thing than Kick. The text to speech part is not Kick.
Yes.
How much of that is he keeping? 100% or 95 or 90? Like how much?
I think Power Chat gives you all.
Power Chat gives you all?
Yeah. I don't think they take a percentage.
How the fuck are they making money? Whatever. I mean,
yeah. Well, like you get it a few days or weeks after, and you can also donate in Litecoin. So of course, if you donate in Litecoin, which some people did,
right,
they can day trade it, and that's their profit.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. They could, if it's crypto, they can definitely make money there. Okay. Let's see. So how is the IRL community reacting to Johnny?
Not a lot of people like Johnny. No one wanted to stream with him besides a handful of people. They were also scared to get banned because if he would be on other people's stream too long, or the main focus would be him, the other streamers would get banned on Kick because Kick really doesn't like Johnny anymore. And then you also had a few other nuisance streamers. Like Harrison is one. I think he went in jail in Nepal or something for something with a minor.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. If that's true, that's definitely not good. I mean, obviously, I think one of the biggest problems is a lot of people go around accusing other people of criminal stuff, especially the minor stuff. That's super defamation. So, a lot of folks need to be careful with that. But, if that actually does happen, that is really bad. And then those people belong in jail, but also on a list.
Exactly. And there's a couple of streamers on Kick that still are there, not being punished by Kick either, sadly, which I would love to see, but some people seem untouchable.
Yeah, right, and they get kind of like Hassan Piker on Twitch level, where like they no matter what they do, they're kind of going to be cool because maybe the platform likes them, or they just are making so much money, and that it's hard to take them off when they make a shit ton of money.
And the weird thing is, like one of the streamers is Suspendas, for example, and he doesn't even have a lot of viewers or something, so it makes no sense why they wouldn't just kick him off or.
Why? Yeah, but is he making a lot of money though? Is he bringing it? I don't know much about his profitability, or I mean, some people have told me I should cover him at some point, but I haven't. I'm focused on Johnny 100% and bringing Johnny to justice. But like, is he making a lot of money? Is that why Johnny looked at Suspendus? Because so many people say that was his mentor, and is that accurate?
Yeah, he got him on Kick. Suspendus got him on Kick actually to stream.
Oh, okay.
And Sus used to have a contact. We call him Sus. It's Suspendus, but he used to have a contact.
Oh, Sus. Well, that's I mean, that kind of fits. Yeah, that kind of fits.
Yeah. He was having a contract with Kick, which is the dream of every streamer on Kick, of course, because then you get like a fixed pay rate every month. And he was on an Ethereum pay rate, if I'm correct. Like he would get a certain amount of Ethereum every month. And yeah, he did some things. He had sexual assault on stream, being also in Japan.
Also Japan, right? Okay.
Also being a nuisance in Japan, like music on the train. Basically what Johnny had as well.
Is he banned from Japan?
No, he isn't.
No, he isn't.
Not that I'm aware of.
Not yet. I think a lot of these countries, this is my personal 2 cents here for the chat too. I think that a lot of these countries are going to change their laws. And also it seems like they're already enforcing laws differently because of Johnny. And I watched a video earlier on, my viewers that have seen this I watched about 2 weeks ago of a guy in Japan who he was just a streamer. He had a robot R2D2. He's this old African-American teacher in Japan. And he got yelled at, and he said, "Hey, you can't stream here because of Somali."
Yeah,
right?
it's
A-
yeah.
And it sucks, but like that's impacting other people, right?
Yeah.
You know, I even think that there was a sign I saw of no alcohol and drink. No, sorry, no foreigners cannot buy alcohol and cigarettes at a particular one location in Seoul. I posted that on Twitter, and I'm like, I think this is the Johnny Somali effect because
Yeah.
they saw this and they're like, hey. And by the way, a lot of people say, well, that's illegal. No, it's actually not under Korean law. They can exclude foreigners from doing things. In fact,
Yes.
routinely, I'll go to bars and clubs and they'll say you cannot come in because you're a foreigner. You need to be a Korean, and that's not illegal. So just FYI, that's what I would call the Somali effect
Yeah,
in real life.
that's definitely the Somali effect, and that's also why a lot of streamers don't like Johnny, because he ruined streaming in a lot of countries for other streamers as well.
Because if they go there, they're gonna be like really
Yeah.
subject to scrutiny. If they try to do anything, even like, look, I'm all for if you want to have fun or do something that's genuine
Yeah.
comedy, but now people might try to do something that really is truly would be comedy, but
Yeah.
now they can't do it because of Johnny.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's why a lot of streamers don't like him.
Right. So he fucked up things for other people and they're not happy about it either.
Yeah, and of course, like every streamer sees themselves as their own business, and it's money that's taking away from them as well. Like it's a money aspect as well. It goes pretty deep because
how much, like what's the top end here? Like, because we keep mentioning money, like
Yeah.
what is the goal? What are they trying to get to? Like what's the level up? Like
I think like if you can't travel to certain countries and you're bound to specific countries, and of course Asia is really popular for streamers because it's cheaper than Europe and cheaper than the US. You don't want to go to the eastern of Europe to stream because that can be pretty dangerous because people don't fuck around right there.
So Asia is the mix between cheap and safe, and that's why it's popular for streamers.
Yes.
Right? Because it's cheap and safe, which, by the way, some of the things I do like about Asia is that the cost of living is really great, right?
Yeah.
You get like great quality. It's why I like living here. But, you know, understanding that when people look at that and they say, oh, it's cheap and safe, I'm going to go fuck with them because it's cheap and safe and I can get away with it. That ruins it for everybody.
Yes,
that makes a bad environment for everybody, including, by the way, tourists. I have people that are, I mean, you've probably heard this too or seen this, where there's people that are Americans, including Black Americans, that are now afraid to come to Asia because of Johnny.
Yeah, like, and I can understand that.
Sure.
Especially if you look a little bit like Johnny. Like,
right.
It would not be safe to walk around on the streets then if you're alone or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me see. Last I have here a question. Have you faced or do you face attacks from Johnny's community? Because obviously, like I said, I'm facing attacks from Johnny. Do you expect, because you came on with me, he's gonna double down hard on you and try to come hard at you? Like, do you expect that?
I already experienced some attacks, of course, because they tried to dox me.
Sure.
However, every time they did something, I took something away from Johnny. So
it's like a, you know, if they're coming at you, you're striking them back.
Yeah, as soon as they went personal and private with my name, pictures, license plate of the car, what else did they do? Try to get my address, but in the Netherlands it's pretty safe. Like it's pretty private here, luckily. Every time they did that, I took something away, but I always warned Johnny in advance, like every step that you take, of your Discord community takes, I will take one step as well.
Do you view that? I mean, I view it this way, but I don't know if you view it this way too. It's like he's responsible for the actions of his Discord community, right?
Yeah, like he is the influence of his Discord.
So if he told them don't dox anybody, they would stop.
Maybe they wouldn't stop, but then you have the power to ban them.
Right, that's what I'm going to say. So if he threatened to ban them, if he said, I'm going to fucking ban you, then they probably would stop because they want to be part of his community. And that's where they're in the first place. Right.
Yeah.
So if he actually wanted to police his Discord and stop this behavior, he would. So he has control of that. Yeah. Right. Much like in a racketing case where they have the Godfather and you've got the community, you know, you've got that with Johnny and his folks under.
Yeah.
Right?
And the first thing I took from Johnny was his YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I will say I fucking permanently banned a couple people in the chat. I think Johnny may be on some fucking also in the chat. But if you guys engage, I have some chat rules. If you engage in any sort of attempted doxing in my chat, you're fucking banned. My mods are gonna ban your ass. So, you know, and also spamming, you know, all that sort of stuff. If you've got respectful questions, we're gonna take them at the end here. But just make sure that you keep them respectful. I'm not gonna read anything that's disrespectful at all whatsoever. If it's thoughtful, I'll do it in a respectful way, right? All right. So is there anything else before we get into any questions and people's comments and stuff like that? Is there anything else you want to say or get off your chest, or you feel like you need to say to the world, like, hey, like, you know, just something you want to get off your chest about Johnny?
What a lot of people don't know, but a lot of people assumed, did I get Johnny banned on YouTube? Yes, I did.
Okay, so real quick, it was you.
Yeah, I didn't hack his account or anything. The crazy stories that's going on.
It was you that got him banned on YouTube.
Yes, I'm not a hacker. Someone who's still pretty close to him gave me a little stream key. I put it in OBS. I did my thing. This channel is gone.
Okay, so you got the stream key and you took down his YouTube.
Yes.
Okay, that's a W. All right, so all right, got that right there. Let's see. Anything else that you might want to mention? Anybody, maybe to the community, to maybe anybody else who's surprised you're coming on? You know, people are like, "Why are you working with the ops?" You know, do you have any response to any of those guys?
No, I don't really care. Like, it's not that I'm working with the ops or something. Like, he attacked me personally. I have no mercy for people that do that. So.
Right. And that's where Johnny, I think it is, people fucked up, especially even attacking people personally. It's like when you start attacking people personally, I'm not going to fucking quit. So you could have just left it alone and I would have covered Johnny like any news story. Then he tried to dox me. He's tried to attack my family. He's tried to make threats on me, which are all impotent because he's got a bunch of, you know, low IQ people trying to threaten me. And all that's done is made me triple down on what I'm doing. Yeah. I was not planning to go as hard as I'm going now. I'm going super fucking hard on Johnny. I'm going to talk about that in a day or two because I'm getting some shit together. But Johnny is now fucked, right? Yeah, because I am going to go super hard on this motherfucker because he came for me personally and he came for my family. He came for my, you know, people I know. So he's fucking, like, in my book, he's fucking done. I'm on this motherfucker now, right? Yeah, because he tried to go personal, right? And somebody asked in the chat, what does doxing mean? Doxing means revealing private information, which is, by the way, illegal. And he thinks he's going to get away with it because he's using, you know, private identities. He's trying to switch profiles and stuff like that, right? Yeah. He thinks he's going to get away with it.
He can't.
He can't get away with it. Yeah. He's not going to go around. Fuck around and find out. Someone said
exactly.
Someone said in the chat. All right, I'm going to read some messages real quick. I'll get all the memberships first. I do appreciate everybody that joined. The memberships are great because they help other people out. Akira Faye dropped 50 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much, Akira Faye. That's a huge one. Arch Lord Dune Rider for 5. Doug Diaz for 5. Thank you. And then Warranty Void for 50 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much. King Lugia dropped 1. A Cube dropped 1. Sold me out, became a member. Thank you for all that. And Shelly and Princess Harlot. Thank you. All right. So we'll go top to bottom. We got 100. Says, I'm starting a GoFundMe for a return trip to Korea. I was there from 89 to 91, 2nd Infantry Division. I'd like to go back and visit Camp Casey, the fine folks I met at Tongducheon. The plus is I can show Somali the error of his ways while I'm there. It's a win-win. Yeah, and hit me up, Sergeant E5. If you're back, hit me up, bro, and I'll meet you up for a beer. We'll hang out. Sounds good. It's always a good time back here in Korea. I love Korea. I lived here for 3 years full time, and I'm planning on spending a lot more time here. And during this lawsuit, adventure with Johnny, it's going to be a very fun time for me over the next year. Sergeant E5 also said here, I spent 20 months at Tongducheon, South Korea. We were taught that when we were there, we're ambassadors and emissaries for our country, and how we act determines what native folks think of our country. That Somali fellow was a clown. Yeah. Do you think, Fab, that people look at Somali who are not American? Because you're not American, right?
I'm not American. No.
do you think that like when you look at Somali, do you think that like Americans are like Somali, or like what he's doing is American humor, or like he
No.
represents Americans? No.
No, not at all, not at all. I have family in America, and they're not even close like him. So
Yeah, not at all like him. Yeah,
not at all.
Boomer's Life for 20 said, I remember the no Americans bar signs in the because of big ugly Americans back in 70s and 80s in Japan. Of course, me and another would go in because we spoke Japanese. That's often a hack. If you speak the language, they'll let you in the bar. Mickey Jeffrey says, hi from UK. Thanks for your coverage of this cabbage. Keep up the good work. Will do. Andres for 100 says, my theory is that Somali wants to be sent to prison and be deleted there to be a step in history as the first IRL stream that trashed Japan and Korea laws, and the price was his life. I don't think so. What do you think, Fab?
No.
I don't think he's trying to get sent to prison. I don't know.
He doesn't. He likes the clout. He likes that people talk about him.
But he doesn't want the consequences, right? He doesn't want to have to actually go.
The issue is he has no stop. He doesn't know when to stop.
Because he probably hasn't had consequences in his life.
Yeah, and even like we were a group of mods that I was really close with in the old arc, and we constantly said, "Stop here, go away." Like I told him 3 weeks ago in Korea, leave, go to Thailand. It's getting heat. Like you're getting a lot of heat. Leave. But no.
Let's see if we got Manwan from Ashaber. Thank you so much. And Guy Bobo says Johnny shared on Instagram and TikTok a video appearing to head to North Korea, praising it in the song glorifying Kim Jong-un, violating their National Security Act. Okay, I've covered that. He didn't actually go to North Korea. I mean, once again, it's like crazy theories about Johnny. He's not going to go to North Korea, guys. Like,
no, never.
Spoiler, you can't stream from North Korea, right?
Also true.
In case you're confused about that. So there's not a lot of clout to get live streaming in North Korea because you can't.
Yes.
So there's that. LJ O'Rourke for 10. Thank you so much. Here's one from Gator. He says, Power Time is not completely anonymous. A certain holler hog and a federal agent test tube baby used it to dox. He's talking about Ralph, Ethan Ralph. I don't know if you know about that guy. He's a huge internet locale. Used it to dox former sports. So do you know about that? Is Power Chat not completely anonymous? I didn't know that.
I thought it was completely anonymous. So that's new information for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Asian Dragon says, by the way, where did he blackmail crime? Because how does the action become blackmail threat? So in legal terms, blackmail is when you say, I will do X to you if you do not do Y. So for me, he wanted me to delete all of my videos, or he threatened to, in a very vague way, go after my family. It was not going to work, right? But it doesn't matter whether the threat would work or not. It was whoever sent it was a Johnny agent or Johnny himself. And they were sincere about thinking this was a real threat, right? And if they're threatening to intimidate you, to harm you, to hurt you, to do anything that could hurt you or your family or friends or anything else, also they'll put you under duress, that can be blackmail. So saying you do X or I'll do this, right? You send me a nude or I'm going to expose you on this way or do this thing to you otherwise. That's blackmail, right? You're trying to get something out there. Did he ever try to do that with you? Like do this or I will do X? Did he directly do that to you?
No, because I don't let people fuck around with me. So if he would do that, I would just like good luck streaming, like powers off, you know? So he would never do that. No.
Johnny said people are bad at assessing risk. He's gotten away with it before, so he thinks he always will. Do you think that's true, that he thinks he'll always going to get away with it?
No.
Sebastian Bernard for 10 Canadian says, hi from Canada. Will we find out what prison he's going to? That'd be Chonan, the prison he would go to. Is there any way we can let his fellow inmates know he violated their country? They'll know. Trust me. Everybody will know about Johnny when he comes into jail. They'll know. Grandmaster Pi says, I am here and I am Pi. Johnny Salami keeps saying he is going to get off these charges. Has he divulged why he believed such a long shot would happen? I don't know. Has he talked about that? Has he talked to you or mentioned why he thinks he can get away with all these crimes?
No, he wouldn't talk with anyone about that. But I think he's bluffing. Like
I think he's bluffing too.
Yeah.
I think he doesn't.
Tough. He doesn't want to show any weakness or something, but I think he's very scared.
He acts like he knows about the law, and I'm like, okay, what lawyer are you speaking to? I want to speak to your lawyer because like let me talk to your lawyer. You know, he threatens to sue me over stuff like that. I'm like, bro, have you heard of fair use? Have you heard of this? Like, he tried to privacy complaint me, and it's like, bro, you're a public figure. Like anybody who even knows like sort of what the privacy law is knows that doesn't apply to you. So all of this is just like, you're clearly not, you don't know the law, and you don't know somebody who knows the law. You have no person who's working for you. I mean, really, I think he's got zero capacity in that sense. Zero Son for 5 says, do you think Johnny will grow up? Do you think his prison will smarten him up, or he's a lost cause?
He's a lost cause.
There you go. There you go. Sergeant 50 says, on behalf of my fellow vets in the chat served in Korea, there are quite a few. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, shout out to all the vets. You know, I raised $8,000 for veterans on one of my last charity streams. So I do appreciate that. And obviously, I plan to do more in the future. It's really important to me. Let's see here. Here for the memes, picked... No, it's cabbage. It's cabbage. It's cabbage, motherfucker. Asian, even though they're the 19th largest exporter of the great white cotton, they're not. That's not the. It'd be cabbage, guys. Get it right. So thank you for coming a member. Loaded Demigod, glad you enjoyed this with some food. Some people want me to cover Daniel Larson. I'm busy with Johnny, but if we have time, we'll cover other topics. Spider Bros is stuffed mindset. Okay. Let's see. Does Johnny have a path besides infamy or relevance? This is a good one for you, Fab. Does he have a redemption? Can Johnny be redeemed?
He could have after he came out of jail in Japan.
Could have.
Yeah, but he chose not to.
There you go. There you go. Fantastic, Mr. Knox. To the X mod. It takes someone with very big kahunas to speak up and speak out against a news streamer like Johnny. Good on you.
Thank you.
I like this one. I'm going to read this disrespectful chat. This is actually one. I normally don't read them, but I'll read this one. It says, you are not reading any disrespectful, shows how better you are than Johnny. Yes, exactly. This is good. So once again, I look, I can be kind of blunt and I can be kind of crass. And a little bit of times I can even be what I would call an asshole sometimes because I'm pretty direct and people might take that as me being an asshole. But there's a line morally, right? There's a line morally. And I also like humor. I like to laugh. I think we should be able to make jokes that are kind of inappropriate, right? Yeah. But there is still a fucking line, right? There's still certain lines you don't fucking cross.
Yes.
Right. And that's with me, like, it's like you said, like with elderly or children or things like that. It's like, don't go past that line. And Johnny clearly walked over that line, and he didn't just walk over it. He doubled down when he went past.
Yeah, he did, definitely.
Yeah. Charlie says, crap, I'm doxed everywhere by username. Mephitic Miasma for 5 says, I shouldn't have given him multiple chances. What was chance number 1? That's a question for you. What was the chance number 1? What was the first one?
Chance number 1 was, I would say, when he got out of Japan jail. That was my that was my first chance that I gave him.
Yeah. This is something that was asked by somebody else. So what do you know how he met Hank?
He just met him on the streets.
On the street?
Yeah, and that is what I said. That's the
what? That's crazy. He met Hank on the fucking streets of Korea?
Yeah. Like he didn't know Hank before he went to Korea.
No fucking way.
Yeah, but that's the thing. What I told you, like his life is a little bit like GTA. He meets all these side characters.
And now, like, Hank is his like homeboy who is like just protecting him and like doing all this stuff for him. And
yeah, and what I do say, I think Hank is not. I don't want to sound mean. I think he's not 100%, and Johnny knows how to manipulate and exploit that.
Yeah, because one thing I'll give to Johnny is it takes a clever person to like manipulate and expose. They're using their powers for evil, right? But like that, it does take somebody who's got a little bit of wit to do that.
Yeah,
and I actually don't think Johnny is dumb. He's just not as smart as he thinks he is. right? There's a difference, right? He's,
Yes.
you know, especially with smart people, you think you're so smart to outsmart other people. But the problem is when you have an army of people, especially people that have now, you know, weaponized their autism at convicting you, at prosecuting you, at getting you locked up, you're really screwing with like a lot of people here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I thought he sought him out, but the fact he ran into him on the street is pretty nuts, to be honest.
Yeah, and it could also be like a sniper, like because of course.
Yeah, a stream sniper who is a fan and like sniped
Yeah.
him and showed up and was like, "Hey,
Could also be a thing.
Could be a thing. Could be a thing. Yeah, some of my locals said Hank is a sugar daddy. I mean, at this point, yeah,
he is. Yeah,
yeah.
they're couple buddies.
Twayo Huck says, thank you. I've been watching you from the start. Thank you for your service. No problem. My pleasure. My pleasure. Kid Loco says, I'm 45. Viva the 80s. I love the 80s. The 80s are great. Bad News Badger says, we're all old and degenerates. I agree. At least I am. Lerp says, IRL Gardener playing Medieval Dynasty. I am preparing my field for cabbages in the spring. I expect Ishmael's experience will be far less cordial. Hagfish says, can JBL sue Johnny Somali? It's owned by Harman and Samsung. I didn't know that. Now it's a product. Now, look, I'm trying to be honest on my channel, right? I'm trying not to tell people like everything is a case, whatever. I'm already telling you some crimes which he may never be charged with, but it's possible he could, right? Like terrorism. I actually think that's one that's it's a stretch, right? But is it possible? Yes. Right. Will they? It's unlikely. They probably go for something that's more of a slam dunk, right? Because prosecutors are busy. They want to go for slam dunks, right?
Yeah.
But it's possible. So could JBL sue? I mean, maybe, but it's almost 0% chance they would actually launch a lawsuit. More out there, they might disclaim him and his use, and they might, have to go out there and say, we deny this use, and we are making a corporate statement that you should not use our products in this way, right? If they know that their products are being used in this way, right? They might make a corporate statement. That could happen. We'll see. The real Sal says the kid will go to jail in a country like South Korea. They'll use him as an example not to go there and mess with people in the culture. I hope so, and that's what I want to communicate to the court when his date comes up in December. Devil's Advocate says, Johnny Eggplant so Somali. Enough said. Fantastic Mr. says, I hope Johnny pays the price like the two Taiwanese guys who played a stupid card in Cambodia. I'm amazed he began because of Suspend Us. So I don't know about the Cambodia thing, but yeah, go ahead about Suspend Us and Sus.
Yeah, like Sus did a lot of things. He also was with that Harrison person.
But is it correct that Sus has tried to like distance himself now from Johnny and saying like, I do not support what he's doing. I do not support this. Like, do not put this on me. So he's trying to go like that now.
He wants to disengage, of course. So
yeah. But people are doing research on Johnny, so obviously they're digging back on like the history of Johnny.
Yeah, like they're digging up everything and the first meeting with Sus, etc. So.
Yep. Let's see here. Silbury says he's not as smart as he thinks he is. Have a 10 for succinctly summarizing an opinion I was struggling to articulate. Having a little side convo in the Discord. Autism over explanation struggles. Yes. Often that's summed up as people think they're really smart, especially if you are intelligent. You think you're like immune. You think you can go get away with the perfect crime, but you've probably fucked up once. And all it takes is one fuck up, especially when it comes to crimes. One fuck up, and you're done. Yeah. Indifferent says hello from New Zealand. Thank you for covering the situation. Johnny Somali is a clown, and he deserves everything coming to him. Chaos Smash says, I'll dox myself while waiting for the panhammer. That's fine. You can dox yourself. That's permitted. Super Korean says, both my aunts on my mom's side have farms in Korea. I'm sure they could use an unpaid beekeeper. They don't use bee suits either. Ella Jade Wood said, "Hey, Legal Mindset, are there any charities or organizations we can donate to support comfort women or crew South Korea in general?" So I'm doing research on that right now. I want to make sure it's an appropriate one, and I tell you the appropriate one. I'm very particular with my charities. I like my charities to give most of their money to the people and not to administration. So I typically had to have conversations to determine the percentages. If you guys don't know this, a lot of American charities, they give most of their money to the CEOs and the people working at the charity rather than to the actual charity itself. It goes to the bureaucracy. So I'm trying to find a good one that makes money and it helps the situation with the actual victims here. So I am looking into that. So I'm going to get back to that. I want to make sure the information is good before I just spout it off. There's an American association that does it, but I'm kind of concerned because it's American, and I think they may engage in a little bit of political activism over perhaps helping the people. And I really want to focus on helping the people. That's my true, genuine desire, is to help the actual victims and help kind of support them. Right. So that's my drive here. Zypher says, "Thank you for the chat and all the cabbages." Thank you. Thank you. Kim S says, "Andrew, can people get a fish cake emoji?" I will work on that. I'll work on the Odang emoji. Clericato, thank you for the 20 Legal Mindset memberships. Appreciate that. Asian Dragon says he was playing with fireworks in Korea to get another kick streamer's attention. Were you paying attention? Were you on that stream when he did this?
Yes. That was at like when he was literally shooting fireworks.
Yeah, he was shooting fireworks, right?
Yeah. That was when he visited the mansion of the other kick streamers.
Yeah, so I'm going through that one soon and timestamping it, but my initial summary is there are a lot of crimes in there, and they actually talk about crimes during that. They're like, oh, Hank and him are talking about what is criminal and what is not, and there's even some confessions about things being illegal on that particular stream. And to be clear, you did have all the streams downloaded, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So to be clear, when I got this information, right, you were the source of that information that I received, right?
Yes.
So it's kind of confirming on how I received that information.
It's the raw, uncut material.
Raw, uncut streams.
Yes.
Agro Reach says, "I honestly think if natural selection took place for Somali, most people would enjoy." Okay. Loaded Demigod said, "Ramsey is lucky he didn't go to Central Asian countries. People don't fuck around." Well, that's what he was saying. He didn't film in Colombia.
No,
it's the same shit. He's not going to go to Kazakhstan and do this. He's not going to go to like Iran and do this.
He will not even go to the Netherlands and do this because he's already known here as well. So
do you think he would try this in any Western country?
No. I think first he's too broke for it at the moment. He can't even afford it.
He's broke.
He doesn't have a lot of money. Like, well, he's stuck in Korea and he can't stream. He has no income. So was he kind of living paycheck to paycheck off his streaming income? Like, just like that was what was getting him by? I would say he made good money when he was streaming, but because he was lazy, he wasn't streaming that much. So not that much of money, and he would put a lot in crypto and stocks. So
okay. So he's
I don't know.
He'd have to try to cash out his crypto and stocks and other stuff like that. Not a friendly face, welcome as a member. Indifference, welcome as a member. And Rosalind, welcome as a member. Let's see. Agro Rich says, "My question is, does he think getting negative attention online will fill the void of love that he is lacking from someone?" Oh, that's kind of a deeper question. I'll let you answer that, Fab.
It could.
Does he just need someone to love him?
I don't know. Like, no homo. I was being his big bro, like he could also talk about normal stuff about me, serious stuff, and a few other people as well that would also advise him, like, this is not smart what you're doing. Like, you really need to quit this.
I had a guy reach out to me who said he met him in Colombia, and he said that he had a great time with him. Colombia said he was like, he saw potential in him. He was smart. He was like funny. He was a nice guy to him in Colombia. And then this guy saw his content recently. He's like, this is not the Johnny that I knew. This is a different Johnny. So I think that was like a fair assessment of the guy, watching him change over time. Well, Hannah Huey says, "I'm planning a trip to South Korea in 2026. Will this situation with Johnny change how tourists treated?" No. No, with a little tiny asterisk. Okay. The laws will probably change, but if you're following the laws, it's going to be fine. So that's my thing. If you are a law-abiding tourist, it's going to be fine. If you are an IRL streamer and you want to do a Johnny-type content, it will change how you're treated, right? Yes. If you're in, it may also impact streaming. So I think one of the big things is places are going to ban streaming, and a lot, like, you're just not going to be able to be on your phone or filming even. And this actually happens a lot of places. It happens a lot of places in Thailand too. The second place, where you can't film because people are just creating, nuisance videos, or they're exposing people's privacy, other stuff like that, without their permission. So I think that will change. But I think if you're a normal tourist, you're just going to go to Gyeongbokgung, the palace here. You're going to go to COEX and take the Starfield library photo that everybody has with the big Harry Potter like library. You're fine. You're going to be fine. Isn't that illegal when he took down his YouTube?
It probably was illegal of me to take down his YouTube.
So I mean, yeah. Once again, I'm just asking the questions here. Okay?
Yeah, like it's action reaction.
I'm asking the questions here.
Yeah, it's action reaction. It's also in the emotion that I did it.
The man put this information out there, right? The man put this information out there. Yeah. I'm just gonna leave it at that, right? I don't need to comment on that. But it's good for Johnny to know that. Nintendo Gaming Channel for $6.99 says, I have a question for Legal Mindset. Would you cover Daniel Larson for his crimes? Like I said, I've been asked for a lot of folks about this. When I'm done with Johnny, or when I have time, I've already got. You're going to see, guys, I am full-time working on Johnny, especially for the next month leading up to his trial. So at least until the trial date in December, it's Johnny time, baby. Because he once again, he came at me personally. He tried to blackmail me. He tried to attack me. He tried to attack my family. He's tried to attack my friends, my business partners. He's really gotten personal, and it's not going to work, and it's only going to make me do more. I was gonna just cover it like news, and now it's I'm really getting involved. Captain 42 says, what was the speculated jail time for the farmer? Right now we'll see. Hopefully it's going to be 1 year plus. That's my hope. But I think it could be even more. We'll see. It ain't going to be 0. Toasted jam bread for 1. Thank you. Nathan Katz said, it was me, Rams. It was me all along. Crazy Taco Akuma 13 says, funny how he claimed he would be leaving at the end of the month. And here we are with the court date, hoping he gets a long term. Yeah, he said he's going to be leaving at the end of November. That was a fucking lie. He's not even leaving at the end of December. So he will not be out of Korea until 2025. Even if he goes to his first hearing and he pleads guilty. Which would be very interesting. Even if he does do that, there will be other hearings, all of which I will be at, some of which I may testify at, Johnny. We're going to, it's going to be a while. Charles Gunjun says, Ahmad, how do you, this for you, for Fab. Yeah. How do you feel about the end of Squid Games? Let's get red hair.
So I can explain the red hair. I had a Sabaton Saturday, and I got some crazy donos, and I always keep my promises. That's why I dye my hair. They could choose a color.
Cool. Let's see. Ash Hole says, so as an American military brat that grew up in Korea, well, they like taking pictures with us while simulating hating us. From my experience, and not to sound sexist, women like pictures while men hate us. I don't agree with that at all. I don't play into any of the men are this and women are that thing. I've met all sorts of men and women here of all sorts of the spectrum. There's people that are introverts, extroverts. There's people just like any other country. I mean, it's just like any other country where there's all sides of people. There's friendly women, there's mean women, there's mean men, there's friendly men. It's like any other place. It's just they speak Korean, Asian Dragon 456 says, the last live I saw, the one obstructed Lotte World and had a ride stop out of nasty words. A quote from John Tafter, get the out of here. Got to hear. It's unbelievable. Yeah, that's the one that I'm going to go really hard on too. I'm going to have an announcement about that soon. So just stay tuned for that. Korean from New Zealand. I love what you're doing and appreciate the moderator for his courage to come forward. Thank you. Thank you to the both of you.
Thank you.
Chaos said, Fab, can you provide some information on sus? I don't know what he wants from you there, but I mean,
message me on Discord. I don't know all the sus lore, but I know quite a bit.
So they can message you on Discord. So are you pretty public about your Discord?
Yeah, it's the same name. It's Fabarius. It's everywhere.
Fabarius. So I'm gonna. And by the way, guys, after the stream, I wanted to kind of to let it out here, as a secret. Who am I going to bring on, right? But I'm going to have his kick in the description after this, so I'll update everything. So you're going to be able to go over there and check out his kick and get in contact with him. But yeah, Fabarius on Discord. There you go. Pepsi said, "Hey, Legal Mindset. I find it very funny that Johnny thinks wearing a MAGA hat will make Trump bail him out. Happy Thanksgiving." Do you think he really believes that Trump is going to bail him out, or is that just a meme? Is he just doing that? It's a fucking meme.
He might actually. Well, he is so delusional. He might actually believe it, but
okay, that's what I wanted. Because I've told everybody it's not fucking happening. Okay, like it is not. I've spoken to, and I can say this. I spoke to somebody, a good friend of mine who was in the former Trump administration, who's in the Treasury Department, and he's talking to people, and he's trying to, we're actively trying to get his passport revoked at this point, right? That's where I'm on the that train. The last thing he's gonna get, I mean, if we're having discussions on how to revoke this guy's passport and who to talk to get that done and the right strings to pull to revoke this guy's passport, there's no fucking way he's getting a fucking pardon, right? No. Remember everybody who Trump didn't pardon. He ain't coming out to pardon fucking Johnny Somali. Sorry, that's a joke. That's a joke. So yeah, we're working hard, Johnny. We're working hard here.
And I'm not gonna lie, I think Johnny should be more worried when he would go back to the US, because I think a lot of people will be waiting on him there as well.
I've heard a lot of African American individuals are very mad with him for the portrayal in Asia and are waiting for him back home.
Yep.
Lidwig Music and Gaming for 20 Canadian says, "Thank you, Legal Mindset, for the coverage. Sincerely appreciate you being my source for Somali saga. Stay awesome and take them down, fam." Yeah, I try to be objective and give objective information for sure. Kettlefire Charmer Hilta says, "My mother is traveling to Hong Kong to visit grandparents. Hopefully Johnny's bullshit doesn't affect my mother while she's staying there. She immigrated from Hong Kong 40 years ago." No, your grandma's not a streamer. Like, no, your grandma's not trying to stream like on a metro screaming in Hong Kong. She's going to be all right. She's not going to play "I Have a Bomb" in Chinese in the Hong Kong metro. She'll be fine, right? Which is something that Johnny did in Korean. He played "I Have a Bomb" through the text to speech in the metro in Korea. Now, of course, in the moment, he may not have known what it was, but what he did know was that repeatedly he was getting messages. He was keeping the volume on the loudest part, and he actually was accused. I don't know if you caught this, Fab, but at one point he was accused of cheating his donors, scamming his donors.
Yeah, they would
scamming his donors,
scamming his donors,
scamming his donors, and he said, "No, I've got the volume all the way up. I'm not scamming you." So he confirmed that he had the volume all the way up.
Yes, multiple times.
So he confirmed that he had it at the max possible nuisance level.
Yes.
Well, welcome, Mr. Banana L. KJack says, "Does Johnny never think of his family? Because bet they're getting treats or worse threats." Did he ever think of his family? Was he ever like, "Oh shit, this is gonna come back on my mom"? Did you ever hear him talk about that? Or?
I think in Japan, when it happened the first time, there was an actual Twitter account called DJ News. I don't know if they're the same DJ News that's active right now.
Maybe not. I don't know who anybody is.
No.
I just see tweets and look. My whole thing with the whole covering Johnny Somali on X is I am impartial. I'm not going to give. There's a lot of gay infighting. And I say that in the hyperbolic way, right? There's a lot of infighting that's stupid. It's dumb. It's childish. It's fucking childish. And I don't really care about infighting. I care about getting Johnny put away. That's my focus. And I'm not going to engage in it. I'm not going to take sides. I'm not going to do any of this crap. I'm just, hey, if you have a clip or a video or a picture that's useful to me, I'm going to use it. That's my position. And that's, I'm like a Switzerland here. I am neutral. Okay. I'm just completely neutral.
Yeah, so. I know for a fact that he was shocked the first time his the address of his parents were posted on Twitter, his mom's LinkedIn, his sister's LinkedIn, his dad's full name, and I think that was the first reality check he got. Like fuck, I'm not anonymous.
Yeah. Let's see here. let's see. Mike says, FYI, double time is advocating here for Johnny trying to troll people. Can we ban him? So, guys, I'll say this. I didn't really end these. My mods handle all that. I leave it to their discretion. Danielle's been my mod since the beginning. A professional gentleman has been for a long time. If they ban somebody, I stick with it. So if they ban somebody, that's the ban. You get banned by these guys. They got full discretion. Chama says, hey, I want to know if fish cakes were still an option over cabbage. They are. He may be doing fish cakes. Parism says, I would love to be a fly on the wall if Johnny goes to prison. It's going to be rough for him without social media.
Yeah.
It's going to be real fucking rough for him. Randy H says, how long do you think Johnny serves in prison? Guys, at this point, it's speculation. I need to know what charges they're going to eventually come down on. And even then, there's a lot of discretion. It will not be the max sentence. So a lot of people are going on the max, and I've reported the max, but it will not be the max. It'll be something between not zero and the max. So sometimes if a crime, for example, I was at the court the other day, a little bit of spoiler, and I was watching a bunch of cases. And I watched how the prosecutor, perhaps in Johnny's very own courtroom, sentences people. And it's not the max, but it's not zero, right? So he's not going to get nothing, okay? It's not going to get nothing. Loaded Demigod 29 says, victims have to stand as witnesses or simply sign. It depends on the crime and it depends on what's going on. But there are certain ways to intervene. We're going to talk. I have a whole separate episode on this, guys, and we're going to talk about it. Once again, I'm trying to get my legal ducks in a row here before I say anything, because my priority is getting Johnny, not getting information out there as quickly as possible. So I'll get to you when I can, but the legal stuff has to be done first. John Rixer says, after serving his sentence and getting his passport revoked, do you think he'll try streaming sovereign citizen shenanigans? I think Fab is right. I think he would never pull this in the US, right? He would never do this shit.
He would get beaten up so easy in the US.
He might get shot. And depending on the state, he might get shot.
Whatever, yeah.
Like if he's in like Texas or Florida or something like that, he's gonna get fucked. Like
they don't play around.
No. Ash Hole says, my last statement was my experience as a military brat, which can sometimes be different than someone around Yongsan. This was before 2010. From my experience in Korea, it just carries with you. Okay, that's fine. I understand. But obviously there's different little bubbles. And mind you, as a foreigner, no matter what, you're always in a sort of bubble in Korea, right? Because you're operating at a different level. You're kind of treated in a different way. Because when somebody looks at you and they look at me, they don't know whether I am a tourist, whether I'm an expat, whether I'm somebody's husband, a Korean woman's husband or whatever else. They don't know whether I speak Korean or I don't speak Korean at all. They have no idea. They just look at me and say, oh, it's a foreigner, right? And they can make certain assumptions on that. Haley Chung says, how can we stop Hank from supporting Somali? I don't know, Fab. Do you have any thoughts? I don't think you really can get in between those type of relationships.
No. I don't think that's even possible. And yeah, I think it's a matter of time till Hank will break at some point as well.
Right. Maybe he has some consequences and he, changes up.
I know he was really busy with his school and exams, so I don't know how those are going.
That could be a factor. Grandmaster Pi says, speaking of his parents, is there anything they stated about his behavior? I think we answered that. Really haven't heard much there. Zero Sound for 5 said, will the situation be a deterrent for IRL nuisance streamers or going to possibly embolden them to do it for more clout? Great question for you, Fab.
I think this will be one of the punishments that will come out of this. I think it will be also a little bit of a benchmark for nuisance streamers to not fuck around in specific situations. And I think it should be like a really good warning for a lot of streamers as well. Like, if you fuck around, there can be consequences. Like, just be normal, be nice.
Yeah. Don't fuck around.
No, don't fuck around.
I like the Spike Man asked, how does South Korea's prison more like Norway or Indonesia? Okay, not full Norway, like where you can request a PlayStation and you say you're treated inhumanely. But it's not also like Thailand where they have like Klong Prem and stuff like that. Like no, so it's somewhere it's probably closer to Norway than maybe Indonesia, but it's not. I would say there's a middle ground. It's a middle ground. Johnny, can I send you a Cabbage Patch doll? We're going to have plushies. Don't worry. We'll get those eventually, guys. You guys recommended those. Taco 1984 says, hey, Johnny, our grandmother was a comfort woman. See you soon. Pissing people off all around the world. The end is near said, can we do Johnny a favor and get him a Mossad pager? Asia Dragon says $4.99. Like Japan infers strict rules of the recoding from the Ramsey effect. Korea is putting the same effect one day, which will make a notepad for a journal. Yeah, no. So Johnny is going to be the reason why certain laws are enacted. So he's going to be like a footnote in like a legal case of like why this law exists. It's going to be like because there was a nuisance streamer named Johnny Somali. So like he's going to be like a footnote. You know, he's not going to be this main character. You know, people have this like main character syndrome. You know, he's not going to be a main character. He's going to be a footnote in the history of this stuff. And they probably won't even remember his name. They'll just say he's that annoying guy who did the thing, right? They'd not even remember his name.
No.
Although, you know, let me ask you something, because a lot of people bring this up. Does he hate being called Ramsey Khalid Ismail? Or
Oh yeah, he does.
He hates it.
Yeah, he doesn't like that.
He hates being called Ramsey Khalid Ismail, right? So that's why I try to kind of put both whenever I can. It makes the titles really annoying, but because I know it pisses him off, I do it whenever I can. I think it's important to say both because the name Johnny Somali is his social media, so it gets into the algorithm. When people are searching, it comes up. But to get out Ramsey as his name is, I think, very important. DE for 10. It's also the legal name he's being prosecuted under. So from my perspective as a lawyer, that's the relevant name. If he's convicted, what percentage of time would he serve in respect to sentencing? Korea's not like that. Whatever he's given is what he will serve. They're not going to reduce the time. They reduce it on the front end. So they just don't give you the time. So if they give you a year, it's a year, right? So they're not going to like, they're already reducing it. Let's say the maximum penalty was 5 years and they give you 1 year. They've already reduced the time. So they're not reducing it further there. Not a friendly face, at least from my understanding, right? Could be wrong, but that's my understanding. Not a friendly face for 10 says, don't know if it's appropriate to talk about motives, but wonder if intent then or now was to be intentionally infamous, jail time or not. I'm curious if psychology overlaps. What do you think, Fab? Do you think he wanted to be internationally infamous regardless of whether he was arrested?
Well, yeah, he said it on stream multiple times as well. Like he wants to be the terrorist, right? He wants to have chaos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The divide. This is a good question for me. As Johnny confronted you via DMs, and I'll answer first, then Fab can answer. Or has he only done the privacy claims on your videos with it? So most of it's been very, very cowardly. I do suspect that some of these profiles are Johnny himself. That is my suspicion, and I would imagine that it may be very well true. But that said, he usually works through his proxies, right? Or these fake profiles. He's not like this. He's never DM'd me saying, this is Johnny, fuck you, blah, 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 and made threats like through a direct DM where he's admitted it's him, right? However, he has talked publicly in several groups like Discord. You mentioned Telegram, right? You know, he's talked publicly about me. That's something I can say, you know, fairly definitively, right? But so yeah, has he confronted you directly, Fab?
No. A matter of fact, after all the shit that went down, I also never blocked him. He could have always reached out to me, and I gave him 24 hours to remove anything that had to do with me before I would take his YouTube down. And so he didn't.
So would you say it's kind of a little bit, I mean, from my opinion, that's a little cowardly, right? He could have reached out to you or to me or to anybody else and said, hey, blah, 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 right? He could have reached out to me in the beginning when I first started covering this. He could have reached out to me and said, let me tell my story. And I would ask him hard questions. I would press him, but he could have reached out to me and done that. He decided instead to try to dox me, attack me in this, which just proves that he's a piece of shit that I accuse him of being. It just literally proves my point that he's a disgusting piece of shit.
Yeah, he's a lowest scum.
Yeah. Stream so massive, YouTube is struggling. Yeah, we had 6,000 plus people here, right? YouTube is struggling. My connection's fine on my end. John Richter says that's why I think he'd pick on civil servants depending on jurisdiction. They can be more patient than the average citizens, or he could just get alived. It's a fun gotcha game. I haven't seen it. Maybe you've watched more streams than I have, but I haven't seen him picking on too many government workers themselves, because that's actually a little bit more dangerous for getting arrested because they're just going to call the police.
He would go for the people that he know that wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, like foreigners, because usually foreigners aren't going to do anything in Korea. So when he calls the white girls, like he yells at the white girls, and he's like, "You're a bitch" or whatever, "You're a hoe," and this and that. It's because he knows they're unlikely to call the Korean police.
Yeah.
Bad News Badger says you can fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all people all the time. I agree. Ashhole says, what do you think about the EA Unity guy taking over Disney since possible? That's a separate stream. Thank you for the super chat, but separate stream, Ash. Appreciate you though. Appreciate you. Nintendo Gaming Channel for 279 says, why isn't the U.S. government publicly announce Johnny? Honestly, and this comes from one of my friends who is very familiar with the Department of State. In his words, this is the words of somebody who knows people at the Department of State. Johnny Somali is too much of a little shit stain in the eyes of the Department of State. He is not as important as he thinks he is. He is a little shit stain that is so insignificant they are not even acknowledging him. The only fact they may do anything about it is because people are mad about it, but it's not because he's some important person, an influential person. It's because he's so fucking irrelevant and stupid, and they really don't give a fuck about this guy, right? They do not care about that, and they're not going to protect him. Certainly, they're not going to protect him. Yuri for 2 Canadians says, was Johnny's anti-Asian stance always there? That's for you, Fab.
He always said it on stream. Like
he always was shit talking Japan and Korea, like always.
Yeah, and also the things he said. I'm not gonna repeat the words because I don't want to. But if you
don't
want...
demonetize me. Don't demonetize me.
No. But I mean, like, if you wish a certain death on a specific kind of people, like, no.
Yeah, and he did that.
Yes.
So there you go. Right. That's a pretty shitty human being right there.
Yeah, you don't say that.
Yeah, I don't say that. And once again, there's always exceptions. Even if you don't like people, there's an exception. Like, even if you don't like a group of people, you're like, I don't like Manchester United fans. There's probably one you might like, right? Key JX for 10 says, if Johnny does this for clout, let's see him in Detroit with a white helmet. He'll yell white POW and he can survive this racist fun. Well, one thing he was trying to get was he was trying to do the Jussie Smollett this is racist, everybody's racist thing. Do you think he really believed that was going to work in Korea and in Asia?
No.
Like yelling this is racist was really going to work?
No.
Yeah.
And he also thought it would work in Israel.
Yeah. It's like, this is not America or the West where you can yell that and people will maybe take 2 seconds to think. It'll stagger them a bit in America because we've been used to this as like, oh, whoa, I got to be careful because you said racism. That's the magic word and we have to be careful.
Yep.
But that doesn't really fly in most other countries, particularly that are 99% or 95% ethnically homogenous.
Yeah, they won't.
No. Gaspari says, do you think Johnny can get your video struck for his own videos showing private citizens' faces? Wouldn't it be like showing? No, not really, because then it would have to be those. No, not going to happen. Fat Factor for 5 says, I hope he's dumb enough to see what happens, even when it's in Indonesia. They don't mess around over there. No. India, not Indonesia. I added a lot of letters there. I think there's certain, like Fab said, there's certain places he may not go because he would get in too much trouble. Yeah. And honestly, I'm not sure he has many safe countries left. If Korea is out for him, where the fuck else is he going to go? Even I said, look, if he comes to Thailand and fucks around in the same level, and he actually didn't fuck around on the same level in Thailand. If he did certain things in Thailand, I'll tell you straight up, he'd be in Klong Prem, the prison there, or he'd be like Ice Poseidon, right?
Yeah.
Or he would go and just disappear, and we'll leave it at that, right? Kentoke said he'll have a lot of love in prison. Either way, true. Ira said after last PowerPoint stream, Perun collab went. I don't know this creator. I gotta look him up. Thank you. Linux guy says Johnny Somali better stay indoors. Geoguessers can easily locate you based on the frame or two in reflection. Just saying. Well, Fab, were you aware that people were like getting his location based on like pizza boxes and things in the stream?
It was actually insane.
Yeah. Was he aware of that?
No. Well, he tried to hide the pizza box and all that kind of stuff, but he failed miserably.
Super Korean says for 10, it seems that Johnny was the worst case of Dunning-Kruger effect in recorded history. Tatsumi said in the UK for 10, he would be taken care of, just not by the police because they're too busy jailing people for internet posts. He would probably be shanked in some back alley one night. Same thing in a lot of countries. right? Because there's not, Korea is safe because there's CCTV everywhere. So people aren't just going to like take you out in the streets. But that said, you know, you're still on candid camera. So you're going to face some consequences. Crappy J for 10 says, non-practicing psychologist and not diagnosing Ramsey, and neither am I. But my strong opinion is he has a number of pronounced narcissistic traits, none of which are an excuse for his behavior. So I know you're not neither one of us are psychologists, right? Or whatever. We're not doctors. But I mean, would you generally agree with like the basic description there of narcissism?
Yeah, maybe. I think a lot of bigger streamers are narcissists. So
Yep.
IRL streamers it is.
IRL streamers for sure, yeah. And look, everyone's got a little bit of narcissism. I have a little bit of narcissism, but there's a point when it becomes dangerous.
Yes.
Right. There's a point when it becomes dangerous. Cleopatra Silvestri for Canadian 5 says, first Andrew Tate, now Johnny. When are piece of trash streamers going to learn to stop showing their pizza boxes on stream? Allison Brown, this is a good one, said, can you, Ahmad, explain if you review the streams on your server? When were you aware of his actions in Korea, real time or some delay? Thank you. Well, he was watching most of them, I think, right? Originally?
If I was awake, yes.
If you were awake. Okay.
If I was awake, because there is a huge time gap, of course.
Right, it's 8 a.m. What time is it in the Netherlands? For those that are in the US.
Here, it's almost 2 a.m.
It's 2 a.m. So this guy is up at 2 a.m. And guys, I did promise him, we keep this pretty brief. So I'm gonna try to get through these as quickly as I can to get him to bed here. 2 a.m. is pretty late. But understand in Asia it's 8 a.m. So Johnny would be just starting his shenanigans when he's probably going to bed.
Yeah. And the streams were in real life. There was no delay on the servers I have, like maybe a 20-second delay or something. So it's real time.
Okay, so it is real time.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Archer Dunerider said, I think he meant white cone like triple cake. Okay. Yeah, let's not go there. Sobi Sal says they should send him to a gay prison and give him the comfort boy treatment. Okay, just reading that one. Mag says, hopefully South Korean government makes an example of his behavior. What is next for Johnny German or Holocaust? He would not dare. He would not fucking dare do that. He would not dare do that.
I hope he won't.
In Poland or Germany or anywhere. In Netherlands has some monuments as well and stuff like that too. So like he would never go to the fucking Netherlands and do that. There's no way.
He would know. I hope he will never go to the Netherlands because
for his own sake, like his life,
like Western Europe, just stay away.
Yeah. Asian Dragon says, does that mean I won't be able to record a clip so I can make a memory? Where did I go? No, you can no. You're going to be able to like make short videos or whatever, but there's certain places they may say don't stream or don't film. They're not going to say, on all of South Korea, don't film, but there may be places where they say, okay, you can't film here because they're sensitive, like there's children or something else. And that is something to be concerned with, of exposing children and their identities and filming them. It's something you don't want to happen, because a lot of bad people, right, including criminals that are interested in children, could go to places where children are and start filming them. And you don't want to encourage that. Jack Smith says felon status bars a lot of things, renting jobs. If he becomes a felon, does it affect him anywhere else in the world? You're supposed to disclose it when you come to a country. Now, a lot of people lie, right? And this is a huge thing. But if he's known and he's infamous in a bad way, then when he goes to a country, he'll be reported to authorities and saying, hey, you have a felon who entered your country, and he probably didn't report that he was a felon when he came in. Like Japan, for example. If you go to Japan, you have to report if you have a felony, right? So... And you have to report if you have a crime. Now, they also have facial recognition now. So Johnny would be fucked because he's in the criminal system and his facial recognition, he's banned from Japan. So he can't go back there. They're going to stop him. But other places, they would inform them. Fun says for 199, does Johnny wear elevator shoes? Fab.
Oh, he was smaller than the kid, so I don't think he did.
Chaos says, South Korean prisoner to Ramsey, this Buddha is fucking raw. And Mr. M says for CRC, what is the possibility of being convicted in Korea if he's just deported back to the US? No, if he's deported, that's going to be part of a conviction. So it'd be he's convicted and then they deport him, right? So that would be like in nightmare scenario, the worst possible thing would be if they did that. It could happen. It's possible, but I'm doing my best to make sure that doesn't happen. right? I'm going to do my damnedest to make sure that doesn't happen. Aaron says, what did Johnny Somali say to you about his Japanese jail time? So Fab, what did he tell you about that?
It was pretty boring for him. He was always listening to a specific song. He was reading a book. I can't remember what book he was reading. That's Skynet. He didn't talk a lot about it. I think he didn't really had a good time. Like he couldn't exercise, he said. He food twice a day, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't had a good time there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Asian Dragon says, by the way, Gino was also on the clip where Ramsey was playing fireworks, which made the other streamers so upset because someone informed the location. So I'm actually going through the fireworks stream right now, and I'm doing timestamps. So that one is going to be submitted to the court because there's lots of comments there as well. Remember, all the comments are relevant to the court. The court's going to look at all those comments. So don't worry, the fireworks stream, and I may actually go through that live too. That's one. Once I'm done doing timestamps on it, I may actually go through and review the fireworks stream because that one is one that I don't think many people have played, and there's actually a lot of crimes on there. So I'm going to go through that.
Gino was not upset because Johnny pulled up with the location because Gino was the living AirTag. Gino was sharing his location 24/7 with Johnny.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Johnny is a sad bully on people that are weaker. Yes, and that's what most bullies are. They pick on people weaker because they know they can't fight people that are stronger. That's why look at his attitude around women and the elderly, and look at his in children, and look at his attitude around the UDT guy, the Navy SEAL, the Korean SEAL. Was he talking to the SEAL the same way, or did he run away like a scared little boy?
He was a little bitch.
He ran away like a little bitch, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm 5'2". I'm like, then you shouldn't be talking like a tough guy if you're 5'2". You should be really humble because you're 5'2". Oh, I'm a little goblin. Yeah, and you're going to be treated like one, right? Blind Man Travel said he is a definition of how not to behave when traveling. If you want to be in the good graces, exactly. He's the textbook for what not to do. King Lucian, did Ramsey really have sex? Okay, Fab, that's a question for you. I don't know what the question is, but I'll leave it to you on that.
Well, I heard one story about a ladyboy, but I don't know for sure. Yeah, that was in Thailand, but
there was a story about a ladyboy.
Yeah.
Now, is this confirmed or unconfirmed? It's just like
I don't know. I heard a story that I don't know if it's true. But oh, it's Bali. It's confirmed. Someone in my chat says it's Bali, and it's confirmed.
Okay, well, I don't know. Oh yeah, once again, I don't know what's going on there. Bali, okay, Bali. What happens in Bali doesn't stay in Bali, I guess. Catnip Dave, welcome as a member. Thank you. Fooled by Prime says, I attended international high school in Republic of Korea. A friend stole a car for a joyride and got deported. Also, please show us that Onegi you now meme. I don't know which meme that is, but I'll give you some cabbages at the end of the show. I got that. Agro Rich says, I wonder how long Johnny Somali will last in France. It will not last long.
A day.
Not last long. Shady Shadow says, what did we Man United fans every? I was making a random example of a group. I needed a group, and I didn't want to make it based on race or gender or whatever else. I just wanted to make it something random. Allison for 10 says, were you only hosting JS or do you host space for other IRL streamers? You're doing this now, or are you totally out of the business?
I'm still doing this now. Yeah, I'm still doing this now.
For other IRL streamers or other. Okay.
Yeah, other IRL streamers, yes.
But that are not on Johnny's level of infamy.
No.
Right. Because there are IRL streamers, let's be clear, that are doing relatively wholesome content or content that's not hurting anybody.
Yeah, there's really good IRL streamers that they found the perfect balance between like more pranking and the people that are getting pranked are laughing with it as well.
Yeah. No, and like I said, I'm okay with that. There's a way to make it funny, right? Yeah. I'm not against like playful shenanigans, right? I'm not against that at all. That's fine. But it needs to be something where like everybody's involved. And at the end of the day, there's a catharsis where like the person is not being harmed, right? Like they're not being put in a bad situation because of the streamer, right?
Yes.
I'm okay with that. Perfectly okay with that. And like I said, I'm okay if it's even a little bit like funny. There's some like rude humor. That could be okay if it's in on the joke, Mike D said, does he go to Gen Pop or segregated? It's Gen Pop, but it's a foreigner prison. So it's going to be 75% Chinese, right? But it's a foreigner prison. Yes. How does it compare to the US? So I would say it's different. In some ways they don't have some things they have in the US, some ways they do. I'm going to do a deep dive on Korean prisons, so that'll be a separate episode. We'll don't worry. We'll get to that episode. He Black says, how is he not on Interpol's watch list? He's not that big of a criminal yet. Right? So yeah. I don't think he's made it that. People say, how is he not on a terrorist watch list too? He's not committed actual terrorism yet, and been convicted of it. He would have to be convicted of it. Remember the Korean War is a ceasefire, not over. Yes, of course. But for me, and I'm here in Seoul and I lived here, I always tell people, like, yes, it's at war, but they haven't crossed that border for 80 years now. So, I'm not too worried about the Norks. Actually, most Koreans are not worried about the North Koreans. From my experience, the people that worry more about the North Koreans are the Japanese in the West. They actually talk way more about North Korea than South Koreans. South Koreans kind of are like, oh yeah, they exist. They like literally forget they exist, right? They are not constantly worried about it like most others. It's an issue, but I'm just saying comparatively, like when I go to Japan or the West, I see the news on TV more than when I lived in South Korea, if that makes sense. So, if he died due to pissing off certain kinds of people, would it have caused international tensions? Depends who did the deleting. That's really speculative. If it was in Israel, maybe, but that's a sensitive situation no matter what.
Yeah.
Like that situation is fucked no matter what. I'm not getting into politics and stuff like that, but why anyone would want to try to insert themselves in that is insane. Asian Dragon 499 says, copy that. Thanks for helping me. Precaution. It's better than cure. Yes, no problem. He Black says, on behalf of blacks, I apologize for Johnny. Well, dude, brother, you don't need to apologize. You didn't do anything wrong, but and I think real people, I mean, Fab, you understand. I think most people understand.
The only person needs to apologize is Johnny himself, and he will never do that. So
yeah, and he doesn't stand for all black people. Nobody thinks that.
No.
Nobody thinks that.
Not even remotely close.
Yeah. Grandmaster Pie says for 5. If they send him to work in a mine, he could sing "I'm a dwarf, I'm digging a hole."
It's a really good song.
87 initial C says, with a few years in jail, do you think he'll ever change his ways or boast like he did after Japan? His face structure says he won't. Fab says he's going to get worse or not change.
Yep.
So I'm with that opinion. If he says that, I trust that more than I don't know him as well as he does, so he knows him better. Dreamboat says, legal mindset based on your experience. Once again, I'm not a Korean lawyer, so I'm new to this. I'm learning this with you guys. I'm just communicating what I'm hearing from the lawyers, including very many lawyers, including perhaps my lawyer that I have contracted on this. Mike says 10 to 15. Well, currently he's on a max of 5. If he gets on more charges, he can go in for more time. So let's wait to see what the prosecutors also bring, and then I'll give you a better estimate. I don't want to do what other channels are doing right now and clickbait you by giving you false hope. Right now, his maximum is 5. He's not going to get 5 out of the 5. He's going to get less than 5, right, for this crime. He's not going to get the max. I'm going to try to aggravate it as much as I can. I'm going to go to the court, and we'll talk about that, and we're going to try to make it as harsh as possible. But that said, it's we'll see. If more charges come, which I suspect they will, he can be facing serious time. That's what I'll say for now. Phoenix DS says for 10, there's a difference between being a pest and being a terrorist. Interpol wouldn't want to get involved with pests. They tend to get swatted where they land. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you know anything about Interpol, but like he's not an Interpol guy. Like he's not. Interpol.
He's way too small.
He's a fucking small guy. He's not Interpol.
Physically and online.
Physically and online. Yeah, he's not that much. He's not that much of a physical threat at all. Tatsumi said the fact that 3 people said he can read made me laugh. Darian said, what is Korean prison like? We'll get into that a separate stream. Tatsumi said, yo pegging? I guess because of the Bali ladyboy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, could have happened. Chaos Man says Johnny Somali and South Korean ugly bastard hentai. It'd be a funny read. Dragon Treasure says, get some tea to help me hunt down Johnny if he comes to the U.S. Thank you, Dragon Treasure. Mike D says, has he committed a crime that he can be arrested for when he comes back to the U.S.? Maybe. But that's a further thing. That's a step beyond. I think let's focus on Korea for now, and then we'll talk about US after he's convicted here. Because you want to get the conviction here first before that's like step one before anything in the US or anything else like that. And there need to be some other stuff that comes out. So put a pin in that one for now, Mike. Asian Dragon says, I will never forgive him after he hurt visitors in Japan and Korea enforcing rules on strict recording and streaming. That's why many people are mad. Allison says, to the mod, thank you for being here and sharing this information. As a boomer that doesn't understand IRL streaming, both socially and technically, I appreciate your candor.
No problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
And I know, look, I know there's going to be haters out there, right? You know,
Oh, yeah.
for sure. I've got haters. You're concerned. You know, you got haters. You think you already had haters, probably, right?
I already had a lot of haters,
But you're going to have a lot more now, probably.
Yeah, 100%.
And you know, my attitude is to ignore them mostly. And you know, I have a fucking zero tolerance. I'm going to ban you. I'm going to ignore you. I'm not going to pay attention to you. If you want to come at me proper, right? Yeah. Either file a lawsuit. If you're really serious, file a lawsuit, file a police report. If you think I'm doing something illegal, right? File a police report, file a lawsuit, or approach me in an email and talk to me, and maybe we can work it out. That's the ways that you should come at me. And if you come at me like that, I'll deal with you appropriately, right? You know, do it. If you've got a problem, I mean, Johnny talks a big game. He said he was going to sue me. Do it. Then I'll see you in court in Korea. We'll have fun with that. Nintendo Gaming said, will Johnny be added to a no-fly? No, he's not getting on a no-fly. He didn't like try to bring a bomb on a plane or something like and actually try to do that. Like he's not going to get on a no-fly list. Not yet. If he became worse, maybe, but not currently. Ijelski for one, thank you. A2 Somalish for 275. And then last one here, Agro Rich for 49 says, I would love to hear about Johnny attempting to swim to China just to escape consequences. That'd be hilarious. And then last Nathan for 49 says, Ramsey during one night stand with Femboy. My cabbages. So that's it. We got it. We're at 2 hours, Fab. Thank you for sticking around for the question. Thank you for getting through everything. I appreciate it. Is there any last things you want to say to the audience or anybody else before we clock out here?
No, it's I was nervous at the start, not gonna lie. I know it's gonna put a target on my back again. But you know, it's fine. It's I just want to do the good thing.
There you go. Oh, 2 quick ones here. Ty Lady Boy said we have nice time for a long time. Hope we'll be back soon. And then Einhander for 5 says, question for the mod. What was your reactions when Johnny Somali got laid out in Japan?
I made an edit with Mario sounds, and I made an edit that he got wasted in GTA style. So I was kind of laughing when it happened.
There you go. I think everyone's laughing at him at this point and not with him. On that note, guys, thank you so much, guys. Take care. And I'll leave you with some cabbages.
My cabbages!
Oh, no,
Send.